So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question: do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. And only one said she thought women needed a man in their lives, only one. But when men were asked a similar question, do we need women, most of them said yes. So why do you think that is?
That's because we think the human race needs to continue.
So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless.
How y'all gonna say because men are useless? Meanwhile, like, you're on a set designed by men, with equipment made by men, with a whole television set invented by men. Like, all this shit, like, if you look at the production crew for this, I guarantee you 95% of them are men. All the technical stuff, vast majority of them are going to be men. But then they'll say men are useless.
We are ready to demonize, and like, we call all these people from the red pill community crazy, and they're misogynistic, and they set a bad example for young men.
Because men are useless.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
That's daytime TV.
I'll say it, misandry is acceptable on daytime television, but misogyny would never.
If you know Abbott and Preach, you know that they spend a lot of time criticizing the red pill. I have argued for some time now that they essentially do red pill content, and you just saw an example of it. Whenever you're doing content, when you're breaking down the social dynamics between men and women, and you're arguing a more male perspective, refuting and debunking the female propaganda that permeates through society and giving a counter perspective to all of that, you are essentially in many ways doing red pill content. It's no other way around it. They are in the dunking on the modern woman business. They do all those Jubilee reaction videos, not to show how toxic men are, but no, to show how toxic and entitled women are. So I find it fascinating and disingenuous from two otherwise genuine people who I like, who I saw in person at one of their comedy shows and was greatly entertained. But how do they spend an inordinate amount of time criticizing the red pill, but then they also do content like this?
Like, men are trying to get away with this these days. They're trying to see what they can do. They're trying to get at you for less than $20. Okay, so the pharmacist tried to give me a coffee date on a Friday. Saturday, a surgeon took me to a beautiful dinner with a view. The next day after that, this other man took me to this food event where
Yeah, okay. Some of these whores just take him out for coffee dates, and you just saw why. This nasty ass,
Run it, yo,
this
run it.
nasty ass went on like 3 to 4 back-to-back dates talking about spending money on me. Yo, she got every dude who's in the area subsidizing her meal plan. That shit crazy. Spending hundreds of dollars on her every weekend. The entitlement of these women.
Hey! Didn't she link up with none of them? No.
Yeah, she just cycling through these. Hey, I'm hungry. Hey, I'm hungry, stupid. Coffee? Your coffee don't fill this belly up. Cheap ass. I need you guys to start lining up so you can feed me.
They are literally in the same business, but in the words of Paul Mooney,
everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
what is meant by that, and this has been going on, and I've observed it for probably 2 years now, pretty much ever since Kevin Samuels blew up. A lot of people want to be red pill without the label. They want to say all the things, they want to do all the things, they want to have the same gripping commentary, they want to refute gynocentric BS, they want to do all of that, but just don't put the label on me. And then they bend over backwards to criticize anybody with the label on them, because I believe from their perspective, and they might be right, that it is algorithmically friendly to disassociate yourself from that. Because when the likes of Pura, who just says stuff, I mean, I understand their criticism of Pura, when she gets demonetized, they're not standing next to her when it happens. When Fresh and Fit gets demonetized, they're not standing next to them when it happens. And speaking of Fresh and Fit, if their whole criticism of Red Pill is just they don't like Fresh and Fit, then that's really not a criticism. But I think we've arrived at a place where the label has become useless, because even people who have a disdain for Red Pill, you always see Red Pill concepts permeating through their content. It's all over the place. So I think what it is just, it's a label at this point with a weird stench on it, a negative, analytically, algorithmically harmful stench on it, and nobody wants to be associated with it, but everybody builds content predicated on many of the concepts within it. So I think it's probably literally at a point where using the label is useless, and just doing content, speaking your mind, is what makes sense. But if everybody did that, then there'd be a lot of people just simply lacking a big bad wolf to point at. It's like the universe is out of order when we don't have a bad guy to point the finger at. And just the hovering concept of red pill is the bad guy that people point the finger at. But I've been saying this for a while, and maybe someday I may facilitate this something like this actually happening. That if people like Abba and Preach, who have their views about the social dynamics between men and women, they have their views about the red pill, I guarantee if I gave them a 100 questionnaire with questions regarding the social dynamics between men and women, and I gave that same questionnaire to content creators who consider themselves red pill, I guarantee their answers to the questions in that questionnaire would be 90 to 95% similar. Guarantee. So their criticism to me is just a marketing strategy. Oh, and they don't like Fresh and Fit, but other than that, it's a marketing strategy in my perspective.